All right, let's talk a little bit about stages of clay. It's important to understand what the stages of clay are so we know what we can do during the different stages of clay. And really the stages of clay really just depend on how wet the clay is and if it's been fired or not. So for example, the first stage of clay is called slip. So you can see here I've got a little yogurt container and it has slip in it. Now slip is just super wet, super saturated clay. It's just mud. And we use this for a whole bunch of different things. We use it for stitching our pieces together. It's kind of like clay glue. Okay, next we have fresh clay. Now fresh clay is what we're going to use to pretty much make everything that we can. It is very plastic, which means that it is bendable and movable. You can see it's really easy to squish it and move it however you need to. You can cut it at this stage. You can move it with your fingers. You can use any of your tools. This is the stage where we're going to be doing pretty much everything. After that dries out just a bit, we have the stage called leather hard. Now leather hard is still a little bit flexible. It's not totally dried out. It still has some moisture in it. Actually, when you pick it up and feel it, it feels a little bit cold. And that's how you know that there is still a little bit of moisture in the clay. Now you can see I've turned this into a little pinch bowl. If I wanted to, I could smooth things out. I can smooth out the cracks on the outside, but I can't pinch it out anymore. I can't make it any bigger because it's leather hard. We also have what's called bone dry. So this is an example of bone dry. It's past the leather hard stage. It's not cool to the touch anymore. It's about room temperature. And it makes a very hollow sound. We can't do anything at this stage. If you forgot to carve your name into it, that's pretty much the only thing that you can do. We don't want to carve anything more than that into bone dry clay because it creates a lot of that silica dust, which can be so dangerous. So if you're done with your piece, let it dry out. If you're not quite done, bag it up so it doesn't pass the leather hard stage. Now next we have Bisquare. Now Bisquare has been fired one time, so it's been loaded into the kiln and fired once. Usually it has kind of a pink or a yellowish tint to it, and it will make a distinct sound. So it's a little bit woody, a little bit high wood, as opposed to the leather hard, which is pretty dull. Now after that we have what's called Glaze Wear. So once you have your Bisquare, you're going to paint on the liquid glaze, and then we'll let it dry, and then we'll fire it again. And after it's been fired again, so the second time, we get our final product, or our Glaze Wear. You can see the glaze kind of turns into a glass. It's what we call vitrified, which means that the whole inside has kind of come together as a glass. It's non-porous, which means that if you fill it with water, the water's not going to seep out. At this point, it's dishwasher safe, it's food safe. You can put it in the microwave, you can enjoy it. And it also makes a very high sound. So you can see the difference between all of these. So the Glaze Wear, the Bisquare, bone dry, and the leather hard.